Now, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network coming to you because there's this recent study out asking the question, are billionaires really as smart as the rest of us? So we're talking to some folks from the future, the 23rd century. Do you really think billionaires are actually smarter than the normal people here in the 21st century?
Oh, some of them are, obviously, in order to make the kind of money that they have. They're pretty smart, but other people make a lot of their money through inheritance, so they're not necessarily smarter.
Now, often a lot of the billionaires are college graduates, finishing in the top 1% of their class and stuff like that. And they're often smarter than CEOs and stuff like that. Do you see an effect of that in the 23rd century with successful people actually being smarter than the rest of the folks?
Well, yeah, successful people do tend to be smart or intelligent, but that doesn't necessarily result in them being billionaires. You know, in the 23rd century, there's a little bit more egalitarianism and a little bit more equality among people. So you don't see that type of income or wealth gap between the rich and poor as you do in your century.
Now, you're an admiral and you've advanced quite far in your career. Are you actually smarter than the rest of the folks under your command, or do you just have more drive and ambition than the rest? How were you able to go up through the ranks and so many other people weren't able to advance? What is the key to your success?
Political connections.
Now, do you think the 21st century's billionaires actually have more connections? That's what's actually helping them? Because it says that only like 20% of politicians are actually in the top 1% of intelligence.
Well, I would think that if you were a billionaire, you would have to have a lot of connections with different people in order to make your money. If you didn't know anyone, it would be hard to make the kind of money that you would need to become a billionaire, right?
So what do you think are the big keys to success? Intelligence, hard work, luck? What do you think is the keys to success?
Yes.
So in closing, any last minute things you'd like to say?
Yes. Don't mess with Starfleet.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network signing out. Now, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, out with some very successful billionaires and millionaires, talking to Gene Simmons from KISS. Gene, you've been on The Apprentice with Donald Trump and stuff like that, and the question is today, are billionaires really smarter than the rest of the normal people? Is it just luck? Is it drive, political connections? Why are billionaires, are they smarter than the rest of people?
I would say I'm smarter than the rest of everyone, because look at this. I mean, I thought of this. I market everything from lunchboxes to underwear to condoms. So I'm the smartest guy that's ever been, and you're not.
Now, what do you have to say to that? Is he actually smarter than you?
I think he's a little smarter than me, yeah. And let's just face it, everybody loves Gene. But the question is, do they love me? That's what I really want to know, if they love me or not.
So put it in the comments below. Do you actually love this guy? So now, most of the time, college graduates are, the top 1% of them actually become billionaires. Do you actually think that college is the key to financial success?
No, not at all. Not even a little.
What is the key to success?
Putting on makeup every day and strutting around in your big boy shoes.
And what is the key to success?
The key is to rock and roll all night and party every day. That's the key.
Okay. So in closing, is there any last minute things you want to say about the keys to success or the rest of the folks through the galaxy?
Yes, give me all of your money.
No, give me your money. So this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Now, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, talking to you with the question today, due to a recent study, are billionaires really smarter than the rest of the people? So, sir, what do you think about this? Are billionaires really smarter than the rest of folks?
I think that's very relative. In terms of being smarter, in terms of IQ, possibly, and we definitely know that they're much more savvy for their field that they need to, because if there's one thing they do it really well, that's making money. It can either be by playing the stocks, because that definitely requires being really smart. I don't want to offend anyone, but you can't really take someone who's never experienced, anything in the business world and just tell them to go play the stocks, because it's just not going to work. Whereas you do have billionaires who do that just by, owning and disowning companies. In terms of, a lot of people would like to point out how many famous billionaires dropped out of college or didn't even go to college. That doesn't necessarily mean they're not smart, though, because obviously they're very smart in one specific way. That specific way of being smart is what they excel at. And so it just goes back to being very relative to what their skills are. Of course, skills in certain things are definitely going to be more beneficial than skills in others, whereas Bill Gates, he's definitely a really good businessman, so he's good with business, he's good with technology. Those things are, especially given this day and age, so quintessential and necessary that it's only a go figure, he's just going to be a billionaire. Whereas if you have someone who maybe can name every single band from the 60s through the 90s that hit platinum, I mean, yeah, that's cool, and it definitely shows that you're smart, maybe even smarter than a lot of people, but that's also in one specific field, and it's not really going to help you gain money.
So what do you think are the keys to success? Because many people say in America, it's no matter how smart you are, you just work hard, you can make it. Because like you said, the richest people in the world are college dropouts, but at the same time, the majority of billionaires are college graduates. So what do you think are the keys to success?
The keys to success are, you need competition in your world. Excuse me. You need competition to keep you going, but you need to keep going with attitude. I know it's like the Nike slogan, is attitude is everything, but my dad's been telling me that way before Nike did. Along with everything people do, they do the same way. So you need to have good attitude about everything. You definitely need a good work ethic about everything, and you need competition, because if there isn't someone who's going to be taking something from you, in some cases, like in terms of money, if someone's going to take something that's going to give you money, you don't want that. You need to be better than them. So there's always going to be someone bigger, better, faster, stronger, smarter than you. So your job is to become better than them, and by doing so, you will gain and reap the benefits.
Now, you're quite the successful hunter, I guess. What do you have to say about hunting tips? Because we are on the Predatory Lending Network, and we do have many safari vacations. What are the keys to being a successful hunter?
To be a successful hunter, it requires patience and knowledge. Definitely knowledge of the target of which you're hunting, be it, elephant, hippo, or person. You have to be able to know where they are, pinpoint where they're going to be. And you also need to know the weapon you're working with. You need to understand that a bullet falls the same at 9.8 meters per second squared. So you need to be able to calculate that. But that's going back to education. That's something I just happen to know really well. If I shoot this straight, it's going to land the same time I drop a penny. And so hunting is exactly the same. You just need to know how far away it is to determine the angles and the velocity at which the bullet will be leaving the chamber.
Okay, so in closing, is there any last-minute things you'd like to say?
I have nothing left to say, just go red.
Okay, so in closing, this is Clark Kent. I'm the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Now, this is Clark Kent for the Predatory Lending Network, coming to you with the question, are billionaires really smarter than the rest of us? So, Robin, we know that you spent quite a bit of time with some billionaires and stuff like that.
How would you know
What do you
that?
think about that? Are billionaires really smarter than the rest of us?
No, but not at all. No, they can spend enough money to look like they're smarter. Like they can buy doctored documents to make it look like they've graduated from places. No, they're not smarter. Some maybe, not all.
Now, something like 80% of the billionaires finished in the top 1% of their college class. Mm-hmm. But we have those exceptions like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and several other famous college dropouts like the Google guys. Mm-hmm. Do you think college is really the key to financial success?
I do. I mean, most people who do go to college do become more successful, but it may be dependent strictly on the fact that it looks good on a resume. Now we live in a society where if you haven't gone to college, you're not going to get hired. If you're ex-con, you're not going to get hired. Things like that really add up. There are people who are smarter than those that have gone to college that just couldn't afford to do so they don't get the opportunities that those that have gone to college have.
Now, do you really think college is worth it? Because you see so many college graduates, working part-time, minimum wage jobs, and they're stuck with $30,000, $50,000, $100,000 of debt, and they're not working in the field that they have education for. Do you think the college education system needs reform? Because so many college graduates don't have jobs in their majors.
Yeah, no, I think it's just the way that our economy is right now and the way things are working, it's harder I've gone to college, I have degrees, and it's hard to get work in those industries as well. It's just picking the right industries for the time, I think. And just with the way things are right now, you have to be very careful about what you pick and what you stick to. Computers are almost always a good bet, but there are problems with that as well.
So what do you think are the keys to success in any endeavor or in financial? What are the keys to success?
Believing in yourself, having the strength to push through no matter what happens, getting back up whenever you get knocked down. That's pretty much it.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say?
Sorry about Damien.
Okay, so in closing, this is Clark Kent. I'm the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. This is Clark Kent. I'm the Predatory Lending Network, talking to you with the question, are billionaires really smarter than the rest of us? So I'm here with someone who's eaten quite a few people's brains, rich and poor alike. Do you think billionaire brains are actually better than the rest of folks? Or what do you think?
I do, to an extent. It depends on whose brain you're eating. My personal favorite would have to be the little bit of taste that I got from Bruce Wayne. That was one tasty hunk of brain.
Now, we've had famous college dropouts like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, the Google guys. Do you really think college is the key to financial success, seeing that some of them have dropped out of college?
I don't think necessarily that college is a key to financial success. I think it can aid certain people in financial success, but I mean, look around us here. There's people making tons of money off of writing, and you don't really necessarily need a college degree to write what your thoughts are.
So what are the keys to success after this zombie apocalypse?
Oh, okay. You're gonna need a kill squad. You're definitely gonna need a kill squad, kind of like how we have over here. You're gonna need ammo. You're gonna need artillery, because we're kind of hard to kill. We don't take bullets to the chest. We don't take pretty much anything. The brain is what you gotta go for, and unless you're equipped, we're gonna get you, and you're gonna become one of us. Sorry.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks?
Better watch out, because zombie apocalypse is already happening.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent. I'm the Predatory Lending Network, signing out.